picture this. Your dream clients are seeing your marketing and they immediately think, holy this guy just explained my situation better than I ever could. What would this do to your bottom line if you were explaining the problems and desired situations of your avatars better than everyone else in your market? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down a case study from a former client of mine, breaking down exactly how we were able to achieve that exact effect with their offer. Guys, just by changing their messaging, I was able to help this client go from $60,000 a month to $320,000 per month. It's more than a 400% increase in results, and to this day, they are consistently hitting record months inside of their business. So, guys, my name is Nicholas Verge, and after working with dozens of expert businesses and helping them produce an additional $50 million by optimizing their marketing systems and their messaging, I've discovered the single largest lever that you can pull to unlock explosive growth in revenue and profit inside your business. And today I'm going to share it with you in depth. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. So this is my former client, Tim Arrigo. He's a cognitive behavioral therapist and the founder of the brand Beyond Driven. So Tim's story to becoming an expert is inspiring to say the least. He freed himself from very aggressive addictions using something called cognitive behavioral therapy. And then he started helping other people to do the same, primarily by working with them through halfway homes. Now, his coaching program, it started off as a grassroots movement, as many coaching programs do, through social media. But eventually, Tim partnered with a group of publishers to help him operate the marketing and sales portion of the business so he could focus on what he does best, which is the actual cognitive behavioral therapy side of things. So I originally met the publishers at a conference in Austin, Texas, and after a night filled with tequila and deep belly laughs, they told me that they would like to do some work together. Specifically, they wanted to focus on producing a new VSL for Tim's offer. So after meeting with Tim and the publishers, they told me that they were stuck at $60,000 a month, and they were kind of sure on what the messaging needed to be, but weren't quite there yet. Now, guys, I found that most business owners, they have a gut feeling, and they may not be able to fully articulate it yet, but that gut feeling is just really what needs to change. And they just need someone to help confirm it for them or just further refine their thesis. And again, that was true with these guys as well. Their gut feeling on what needed to change was based on the content that was performing best on Tim's social media. All of the best performing posts had to do with the way that men were interacting with their wives, specifically about communication after work and just arguments, disagreements, etc. So this type of content was getting the most shares, the most comments, and the most likes. They also shared with me that they wanted to go after a higher end clientele. They wanted to break out of the addiction focused messaging because the customers coming into the funnel were broke. Go figure. Addicts don't really have that much money laying around. They're either A, spending it on the thing that they're addicted to, or they're just, up at 3 a.m. on DraftKings.com running a crazy parlay, and, they're on a heroic mission, and that's how that goes. So armed with this info, I started the exact process I always use with clients to craft a proper VSL that leverages human psychology to speak to the fears, desires, and life experience of the customer avatars. In other words, I started my process to making their messaging more sticky. By the way, guys, if you would like for me to personally take a look at your messaging and your funnels and find 3 to 5 areas where you can make your messaging more sticky, I am offering a free messaging audit for businesses doing at least $1 million per year. So here's how it works. You simply just click the link in this description, fill out a short questionnaire. That's it. I'll reach out to you if it's a good fit. If not, no worries. And then you and I, if it is a good fit, we'll get on a call and we'll discuss what I found, and it'll just be you and I on that call, one-on-one. Not going to be any assistant or VA hopping on there with me. It's not going to be like it's a sales pitch at the end. If you are actually interested in working with me on a consulting basis, we can talk about that at the end and schedule another call for that. This call is entirely focused on you and your business and how to make your messaging more sticky. So if you'd like to book in that audit, just click the description down below. So the first step in my process to making messaging more sticky is always research. It's always going to be research that's never going to change. So I asked the client to book me on research calls with 5 to 6 of the best customers who got the best results. And guys, this is the best, by far, the best way to do effective market research because it allows you to ask deep, uncomfortable questions to the avatar that allow you to be able to understand their true psyche. So sources like Amazon, like book reviews and whatnot, YouTube, social media, they provide surface level insights that can be good, but it doesn't in any way, shape, or form compare to a one-on-one conversation. So after speaking with all of these customers, I started to see the correlations. Number one, they were all 7, 8, or 9-figure business owners. Number two, they were either married or they had multiple divorces. Number three, they all had kids. And number four, they all were pretty much just like functional addicts. So what I mean by that is when I was talking with these guys, they didn't resonate with the addiction angle because again, they're what's labeled as a functional addict. They're making all this money. So they're like, if I want to have 6 whiskeys before I go to bed, that doesn't really matter, does it? So that's kind of the way that they thought about it. So addiction angle didn't really work all that well with them. However, the number one common factor among all of them was that they felt like they had communication issues with their life, going back to what we said earlier about Tim's social media posts. So they all felt like, I'm going to say this in a country accent to really illustrate it because all of them were actually from the South as well. Man, I do all this amazing stuff for my wife and, I paid for this home, I paid for these cars, I paid for all these vacations and all this, all that, and I pay for everything with the kids. Yeah, they still resent me and they still treat me like shit, man. It's like, even though I spend all this money on them and I do all this stuff for them, they don't give me the time of day or even a ounce of respect. I kind of lost the thing at the end of that, but you got the point, right? That's kind of what they were saying. They were all saying the same thing. So this directly linked to that gut feeling that I talked about earlier. Is all that content that they were posting online, they were starting to see, hey, a lot of people are responding to this, and I feel like this is the thing we need to be talking about, but I'm not sure what it is. And as I dug into these guys talking with them, that was the number one thing they all said. They all said the same thing. It was that I provide so much to everyone, yet they still treat me like shit. And it's just constant. I can't even catch a break. Everything's an issue at all times. So guys, we were seeing that all the content that Tim was posting, which is getting the most views, was focused on relationship issues. And all the avatars are saying that they have relationship issues. What fucking sense does it make to keep selling the addiction angle? None. Doesn't make any sense at all. So after collecting everything that I found, I brought my findings to Tim and I asked him, hey man, here's the problem. How do these guys go about solving it? And he explained that the issue these guys have is that they believe that through external success, they're going to get internal peace. That's not how that works. Because their internal world is so chaotic, their external world becomes chaotic. So they're using the addictions, usually weed or alcohol, to suppress their feelings rather than actually dealing with them. And this is what leads to a more explosive, chaotic world, which leads to arguments with employees, family members, their kids, their wives, etc. So Tim explained to me that they have to know first that they can solve any problem through calm, focus, and clear communication. And only then will they be able to move to the external peace that they want. They have to first have that internal peace before they can get external peace. So after gathering all this data and talking with Tim and all that, I just walked away from the laptop and spent time thinking about it. And this is where I tell people that whenever you're writing anything big inside of the company, new messaging, new campaign, new VSL, whatever it is, there needs to be a period where you're doing nothing but just thinking, walking, going out, go get an Airbnb somewhere, walk on the beach, whatever it is. You need to be in a mode that I like to call diffused focus. You're not actively focused, like trying to get a task done, but rather you're thinking through the research that you just conducted. So I had to spend time thinking about how to explain to these guys what the problem was and what the solution was. And also I had to take into account the fact that the market that we're in, it has a specific sophistication level. I can't just explain it any way that I want. I have to explain it in a way that matches where the market is at. Because if you have a very low sophistication market, meaning there's not many competitors, well, we can just make any claim. But what I knew I needed to do was I had to figure out what mechanism to use that made actual sense for this offer, because the market sophistication level was already at a 4, meaning that there were other businesses selling similar solutions with mechanisms like systems, methodologies, the alpha blah, 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 blueprint, whatever the fuck, right? Like there was just a million and one of these mechanisms that people were using. And the way that the whole market sophistication thing works is pretty simple. Level 1 means there are no competitors. Level 2 means there's only one competitor. Level 3 means there's multiple competitors, and that is where you start using mechanisms. Now, level 4 is where there's multiple people using mechanism, and so you start to compete on mechanisms. Level 5 is where pretty much nothing works anymore, and you just have to build a lot of trust with the audience. I find that a lot of markets are in level 5 right now, and this is what I talked about earlier. The way to stand out is to be more sticky, okay? So guys, all we had to do was just come up with a better mechanism, one that made more sense and just explained their situation better and explained why they're stuck better than everything else out there. And so as I was on a walk one day, the download came from above. I just went ahead and called it the inside out method. So by creating internal piece inside, then we can create the external piece that we're looking for, inside out method. So again, we create peace internally for people by helping them understand their own psychology through cognitive behavioral therapy. Once they've actually created peace internally, they can then create that peace externally. So I rewrote the VSL for them with very aggressive and direct language because at type A, like alpha male types, they don't like fluffy woo-woo explanations. They want it real, they want it direct, and they want it raw. I had Tim open up with what I called a ball puncher line. And from there, everything else was just a structured argument of exactly what's going on in this person's life. So here's some real footage from that VSL.
Let me guess, you got a successful business, or maybe you got a high-paying career. You've created a nice little paradise for you and for your family. You got a nice home, fun lifestyle. You provide for you and your family, and you pay the bills. From the outside looking in, you're a total success. But let's be honest, you're struggling to make your marriage work, right? Look, in this video, I'm gonna share with you a strategy that hundreds of men have used to help turn things around.
So the way I thought about it is that we need to have about a 10 to 15 minute VSL script. And the reason I didn't want to do like a 5-minute VSL script is because I felt like that's more of a B2B focus. And because this is a very emotional problem, I needed more time to explain the issues at hand. So pretty much every VSL I work on breaks down into a few different areas. Number 1, there's the lead or the intro. Number 2, there's the problem. Number 3, there's the desired situation. Number 4, there's the gap. Number 5, there's exactly how we can help them bridge that gap. Number 6, there's the offer. And number 7 is the pitch. So I just outline those 7 sections, and then I just spend time in front of the computer pumping out the copy for the script. I go through each section and I just write the copy. And I knew that the only way to really get through to these guys would be to explain the consequences to them if they don't fix this problem. And that's it. We rewrote the VSL script, the emails following up after they opted in, and all the ad angles matched the messaging as well. Now, because this messaging had more resonance with the market, more people were booking in calls, making it easier to scale the offer because the cost to acquire the ideal customer was much lower than before since more of them were coming into the funnel. The supply of applications and of booked calls went up because there was more people that we were speaking to. And that's how they went from $60K a month to $300K a month. It's as easy as that. My friend, there is 100 ways to skin a cat, and there's 100 ways to scale an offer. Oftentimes, marketers and ad agencies, they're going to suggest that you do something technical, whether it be a new funnel, increased ad spend, whatever. Very rarely will anyone suggest that maybe we should just explain the product in a better way to the 3 to 5 avatars that are already buying the product within the exact same funnel. Maybe we don't need a better funnel. Maybe we just need better ads, better sales letter or VSL, or better copy. Usually when business owners go the technical route and they duct tape on a new funnel to their business, within 6 months, they're throwing it away, calling it a dud. And what they don't realize is had they just spent all that time, effort, and energy on their existing funnel, they probably would have solved the problem that they already had. Because guys, it doesn't matter if you add on some fancy new funnel to what you're already doing, your messaging goes with you everywhere you go. Fix the messaging and all the funnels will work for you. All of them work. There's none that work better than the other. They all have pros and cons. It's about the messaging and getting that dialed in. So guys, that's everything. Hope you found this video useful. And again, if you're doing at least $1 million per year, you'd like for me to take a look at your messaging to find 3 to 5 areas for improvement where we can make your messaging more sticky. All you need to do is click the link in the description below, fill out a quick application. If it makes sense, I'll reach out to you directly and you will be able to schedule a call in with me directly directly. No VAs, no sales reps, no sales call or anything to sell on that call. This is just going to be a call purely focused on your business and your messaging and on how we can make it more sticky. So if you want to take me up on that offer, just click the description down below. And then if you are under $1 million a year and you want to find out how I actually go about writing copy so you get to $1 million a year and above, all you need to do is just click the link in the description down below for the power copy process. This is my exact process to writing banger copy that should be able to fuel all of your email campaigns, ad campaigns, new VSLs, etc. And so you can check that out down below as well. So that's everything I got for you guys. Hope you found this useful. Peace.